here. They were wiping footballs with towels to ensure that they were flung further from throw-ins. Almost every trick in the book. Do you think that they would dare again tonight against opposition such as Arsenal?
Probably not, because they've had their knuckles wrapped to that Sheffield United game. We were here for that, when they were wiping the ball so they could throw it in. No, this is a different proposition tonight. The one thing I would say, again, you look at facts, there's only 2 teams beating them so far this year here, Manchester United and Sheffield United. So other teams have come, and I know they haven't won many, they've drawn 5, but it's shown that they're difficult to beat here. But being difficult to beat here is not going to be good enough to save their bacon. And they're going to find, if this team in red and white that we're looking at now, if they slip into gear and get it going early on, then they might be in for that. What would I say? A lesson? I would say it would be an education for a lot of their players if Arsenal kick into gear tonight.
No sign of them just yet either.
No, last minute, you'll be pumping them up. Not that he would need to. But that to me, look at them, you know, you look at those players, the Arsenal players, they look composed, they look confident. Fabregas just behind the goalkeeper there, top boy. I mean, people go on about young players, but that man, time and time, man, he's a boy.
He is that, absolutely.
You know, that boy dictates games at this level in a way that I have, and time again, in a way that I've never seen a young player do. And I include Wayne Rooney in that.
And here come Watford, as you can see in the background there. I think Manuel Adebayor will have to get back into line. That's exactly where he's going now.
But do you know the one thing above everything else about tonight? We just don't know.
Absolutely.
And that's what's wonderful about the league that we watch.
Today, yeah.
Stamford Bridge earlier, Wigan a few days ago, 2-0 down at half-time. People are going home. You know, sit in your seats. They'll have a point to prove, Watford. They might just be able to do it.
Match commentators, the former Arsenal and England centre-forward Alan Smith, alongside Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. Hi there, everyone. Season's greetings to you all. You may be surprised to know that Watford do have a plus record against Arsenal. 8 league wins and only 6 defeats. But those victories came back in the 1980s, when Watford were making great strides under Graham Taylor. This season, the Gunners have 3 times as many points, have scored more than 3 times as many goals, and have already beaten the Hornets 3-0 at the Emirates. It's the Premiership's bottom club against the team, Alan, would you say, capable of the most exquisite football in the land, even discounting your Arsenal past? Would you still go along with that?
I think I would, and it's just a different way of playing as well, isn't it? Van Persie alluded to it earlier this week. I think when on song, they are like no other team in the Premiership.
Well, on paper it does look like a Boxing Day catchweight contest, but football is never quite so predictable over the festive season. And as Andy quite rightly pointed out, Watford have lost only twice here since promotion to the Premiership. Well, they're crying staying up. It's going to be a hard ask for Watford FC. Football clubs can't unwrap their new gifts until the January transfer window, so Adi Boothroyd is still short on options. The long-term loss of Watford's most potent forward, Marlon King, still a major handicap. But Ben Foster's returning goal after knee surgery was a pre-Christmas bonus. Today, striker Darius Henderson finally pays the price for failing to score this season. Hammer Buatsa is pushed up front from the left-hand side, and there's a second Premiership start for Anthony McNamee.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Watford go about the business with this lineup tonight, because without Marlon King, without Darius Henderson, they can't play quite such a strong, direct game, I think. Neither Buatsa or Young are going to be wanting to try and out-muscle the 2 Arsenal centre-halves. They'll be wanting it into feet, or more likely probably down the channels to try and turn their opponents, use the pace. I'd expect to see Young drop back as well into a deeper area to try and avoid the strong possibility of Arsenal totally dominating that middle ground with, let's face it, their superior ability.
Same 11 as Saturday, same substitutes, which means Arsenal start again with 11 different nationalities. Thierry Henry should be back in contention early in the new year, but Robin Van Persie, with 2 of the 6 against Blackburn, is now the top scorer with 9 goals in all competitions. and Emmanuel Adebayor has hit the back of the net in the last 3 games. They are coping pretty well without their skipper and star.
Yeah, well, it might sound negative, but I think Adi Boothroyd's main concern will be trying to stop this extremely talented bunch of players from actually performing. If Arsene Wenger's lads can get the ball down, move it around and make inroads into Watford's penalty area, then they're going to be really hard to stop tonight. So many players here capable of scoring, and the passing and movement's right. Take your pick from any one of that front 6. The obvious threat, though, comes from those 2 lads up front at the moment. Van Persie and Adebayor are flying at the moment.
Well, the fighting spirit of Adi Boothroyd against the undoubted flair of Arsene Wenger's team. Watford versus Arsenal, and it's live.
We're live at Vicarage Road, the second 2 live matches from the Premiership today. It's Watford against Arsenal, a match available in high definition on channel 408 if you have a Sky HD box. And another reminder, football first tonight, 8:30, a first opportunity to see all of today's football. Commentators here, Alan Smith and Martin Tyler.
Arsenal have been big on Boxing Days. They've won 6 in a row on December the 26th. And they're preparing to kick off here. Despite the later kick-off and the proximity of the fixture, Arsene Wenger took his troops away to a hotel last night. They trained on Christmas morning before popping back to their families for a few hours. Nothing left to chance. And with Liverpool's demise at Blackburn today, Arsenal will go 3rd if they win at Watford. Nicely done by Ashley Young, who's highly regarded by Arsene Wenger. Watford's Tommy Smith is the one survivor from the only previous Premiership meeting between these 2 sides on this ground. That was back in April 2000 in his first spell at the club. Arsenal won it by 3-2. With just this 1 win against Middlesbrough early November. 2 points from 7 games since then, just 2 goals scored. The 2 clubs, as you well know, Alan, have training grounds that back onto each other, but in most other ways they're miles apart.
Well, they are, yeah. I mean, the facilities are miles apart as well. I used to train day in, day out, where Watford actually go about the business now. I'm sure Arsene Wenger will be able to hear Adi Boothroyd's voice over the hedge most days. Out
by Jordan Stewart. Adi Boothroyd still very much at the helm here, even though the other 2 of this morning's bottom 3 have changed their manager this month. Which actually means that Arsene Wenger is scheduled for a rematch against Alan Pardew. Arsenal face Charlton in just 1 week's time. Shitu coming out to take the long throw. With Marlon King out, Ashley Young's had to play as a support striker. It's not really his best position. Hoyt, an Englishman in this diverse Arsenal 11. Off goes Buatsa. Marlon Smith trying to get into the middle as well. Buatsa goes for goal and Lehmann hangs on.
I think that's what they will be trying to do today, Watford. Get down those channels without a big, strong target man. It just changes the way they play, and they've got that little bit extra pace with Buatsa in the team. Ashley Young as well, supplying the pass. Doesn't do badly there, Buatsa. It's a decent effort.
Headed by Shitu. Alex Clem tucking in from the right-hand side. And goes Hoyt. A little on the chilly side, but very playable conditions here. The southeast has been shrouded in fog to the lead up to Christmas. It was no exception. to Smith. He's only given it to Cleven. If you give it away to Arsenal, they can catch you out with the counter-attack, particularly with Fabregas at the heart of it all. Here's Adebayor, and it comes to Clem. See a way through to goal himself, but Fabregas might get it. Demerit did well. City helped him out. Now Rosicki. That was a typical Arsenal break. And it ball goes to Van Persie, and Foster's done very well to intervene.
Yeah, he did. Spread himself, Ben Foster, and that is a little warning, a cameo, the way Arsenal broke then. Possibility of offside before the ball ricochets into Van Persie's path. Spread himself well, Foster. Just cannot afford to give it away. Tommy Smith that time, when they were attacking, all of a sudden they're on the back foot. Watford are stretched.
Mike Dean is the referee. So made it down here from Cheshire. Playing again at right back as he did at Liverpool on Saturday. Normally a central defender. And Smith forces the corner.
It's a good start, isn't it, for Watford, for the home fans? Nice and positive.
Well, they are very positive here, and some clubs will be really hit by the perilous position propping up the Premiership. It's a real community club, Watford. There's a lot of good values about it, and whatever happens to them over the second half of the season, you know the support will stay intact. It's guided on by Smith. And Mike Dean's pointed for a goal kick, with Tommy Smith appealing for a corner.
A little warning there, Tommy Smith at the near post. Van Persie was marking him, but there was nobody in front. So if the ball's right to Tommy Smith, he's going to flick it on pretty easily. And that's when you've got problems. Invariably, you get a man in front of that lad at the near post. Stop it at source. See, there's nobody in front of Smith. And the ball actually comes off Van Persie's head. So Smith had got the flick.
What Smith was complaining about, and maybe that Mike Dean saw an infringement in that. Here's McNamee. A lot of young players involved in this game. McNamee is 22. He hasn't featured much since promotion. He's played almost 100 times for Watford. Young, some good footwork. Mann, one of the older Watford hands, the captain. McNamee, Smith coming in, dropping towards Buatsa. Pressed by Clichy. And wins the throw for Arsenal. But Arsene Wenger does, Alan, point to the youth of his current side as to why at times they're inconsistent, why there could be a vulnerability even in a match against a side with only 11 points this season.
Well, that's true. I mean, they've conceded 2 goals in the last 2 games, haven't they? And you look across that back line, Clichy's 21, Johan Dewey's only 19, Justin Hoyt 22, very few Premiership games under his belt for Arsenal. So you've got to get mistakes, and as a unit, they haven't played together too many times. I've missed Gallus, no doubt about that.
Comes and claims. Anishitu had come up right onto the line and was actually running out from behind the goalkeeper to try and maybe get the drop on Arsenal. It's missed by Stewart. Jordan Stewart, who actually put through his own goal in the defeat at the Emirates back in the autumn.
He actually created quite a few chances at the Emirates that day, you know. Spurned them in the first half, and Arsenal get ahead, and all the belief drained out of them. But they did create a few openings, and maybe something Eddie Booth would have reminded of them before this game.
Taken on by Smith, who's begun very brightly. And he forces yet another Watford corner there. Like all sides who are perhaps not blessed with the greatest individual talents, they have to work at this side of their game with extra gusto. They've already troubled Arsenal with one corner, which Smith flicked on. That's his role as the front man. Van Persie's trying to get ahead of him in that near post area. Smith trying to move him around. There's a variety here involving Ashley Young. Adebayor, everyone was back for Arsenal. Adebayor trying to run Arsenal out of trouble and getting the free kick. Foul against or by Bangura. Adebayor. Extraordinary story, Al Hassan Bangura, who came to England initially as an asylum seeker. McNamee didn't really have to flick at that, had a bit more time than he realised, and then there's a bit of contact between Buatsa and Toure.
I think they would have been nervous, wouldn't they, Watford, coming out, how this game was going to pan out opening 10 minutes.
Demerit's header, Van Persie trying to seize on it for Arsenal. Fabregas. Rosicki, flag is up. It's wide anyway from Robin Van Persie, but it wouldn't have counted.
Just drifted right on the line, Van Persie. Very similar situation to before, no doubt that he's offside, the Dutchman.
Nine goals this season for Van Persie, 7 of them in the Premiership. Roberto has also been a very free scorer in this freewheeling Arsenal team. And to McNamee, gets them on the run, but then runs out of room.
A bit more mobility in the team, isn't there? As I said, without the big, strong centre forward, with McNamee on that left-hand side, Buatsa and Young through the middle with the pace that they've got. Gives them that little bit of hope. And I said they might be nervous, but they've been fairly pleased, I think, Watford, with how this first 10 minutes has panned out. Yeah, they have looked a little bit edgy at times at the back, but they've shown that they can be a threat going forward.
Gleb. By McNamee, Toure didn't read the bounce particularly well. That's just nudging it to the oncoming Stewart. It's good work by Smith. He used to be a striker in his first spell at Watford. Played most of his Premiership games in that 99-2000 season as a front man.
Under the corner, they actually chose to play a short one before, and they wasted the opportunity. And you've got a player like Danny Shitu roaming up front. You really want to make the best of him, trying to hit the big fella with his physical presence. Any team would struggle against that.
Shitu might not have scored from there, but he could have put the ball back across the face of the goal.
He could have actually looked like he'd shoved his man in the back in order to get a little bit of space at the far stick here. Carlo Torre, the slightest of shoves.
It wouldn't be the strangest experience for Arsenal to concede the first goal tonight. It's happened to them in 11 of their 19 Premiership games so far. Ben Foster with the edge of the penalty area looming, and Adebayor as well.
The ball probably wasn't moving as quickly. The defence would have liked it to there. Adebayor very close to it.
Stewart. This is a drifted left where he has been playing. Roberto just need to fill in between the two central defenders to win that header. Mariappa seems to be impeded, but Mike Dean happy that Watford can play on with possession. Bangura. Stopped by Gilberto's tackle, and here's Van Persie. Pleb. Stewart buying Watford a bit of time. Pleb makes the mistake in the end. Hoyt. Gilberto. A bit of defending to do so far, Arsenal, but they can maybe get in for a shot here with Van Persie. And Fabregas. Foster called upon to parry it away.
Every time they've got into those positions, OK, they've been caught offside once. Could have been another time, but every time they look dangerous, don't they, Arsenal?
Rosetsky. And Van Persie teed himself up, and Foster just looked and hoped. And his hopes were answered because the shot went wide, but they need to be sharper in front of him. The goalkeeper knows that.
Well, he looked and hoped because he knew he couldn't get anywhere near this. Anticipates the cross. Van Persie was not far wide at all. Instinctive effort.
Mariappa. There's Gilberto using a bit of skill and a bit of will as well. Pleb. McNamee getting back to help Stewart, but Pleb squeezed it out to Hoyt. Very in form, Adebayor. Hoyt. Looking for Van Persie. He was pushing into Demerit, and the whistle went.
Well, he's trying to chest this one back, Jay Demerit. It was always a risky game. In the end, he got a bit more power than he would have liked, courtesy of the shove in the back. He makes Ben Foster really work for his money. Was it Van Persie actually got the leg out? I thought originally it'd come off Jay Demerit's chest.
Fabregas. Look forward by Stewart. Header by Buatsa, taken down by Smith. He got away from Clichy, and that continues to look a useful route for Watford.
Having a bit of joy down both flanks, aren't they? Tommy Smith on that side, McNamee has tested Justin Hoyt on the other. The quality of ball. When you get into these positions, you know that Arsenal will deliver quality when they do get the chance. He scored this season in the Premiership, Fabregas, which is pretty amazing when you consider the amount of times he pops up in the box. But he stands a save in the end for a player of his, goalkeeper of his quality, Ben Foster.
What a year he's had, Ben Foster, to get himself into the England squad. Forced to play in the Premiership. Downside of recent bit of keyhole surgery on a sore knee. He bounced back pretty quickly. Pleb looking for Fabregas. I just feel if the roles had been reversed there, Fabregas would have found Pleb. Good battling going on by Hammer Buatsa. Gilberto. Is, I guess, an indication of Arsene Wenger's expectations from this fixture, that Arsenal have started with two strikers. And it's a very good piece of work there by the elusive Young.
A very good piece of work as well from Gilberto, because his teammate Giroud gets caught out here. They have looked nervous defending these bouncing balls, and balls slid into the channels, and it was nowhere near enough for young defender, but Gilberto, the anchor man, comes to his rescue.
Adebayor. Rosetsky trying to peel off to the left, but went through the centre to Van Persie. Away by McNamee, but not very far. Here's Hoyt. Touch off Mariappa. a chance for Arsenal, having defended a couple of corners, to show what they can do from one of their own.
Conceded a few, haven't they, this season? More than Arsene Wenger would like, that's for certain.
Toure by the near post. Fabregas right by the goalkeeper. Toure heads on. Arsenal lead through Gilberto. So they can score from set pieces as well as look vulnerable when they're defending from them. And Gilberto continues this terrific run for a midfield player, and a defensive midfield player at that.
We've added this to the game this season. Gilberto's popped up more than once with heading goals, and this is the simplest of the chance. Really, they don't get the challenge on at the near post as Toure gets the flick, and who's picking Gilberto up? I suspect it was Gavin Mahon, but he lets him drift off the back. He doesn't know where he is. Thank you very much.
6 of those 7 have come in his last 8 Premiership games. And you sense that having started here, it might be a case of only just begun. Might have the class and the quality to widen the gap. It's certainly going to be a test of Watford's resolve. They've given as good as they've been getting for the best part of 20 minutes.
It's so simple though, wasn't it? It's so simple when you put so much effort into set pieces as Adi Boothroyd does, attacking and defending.
It's Young with a chance to loop it over Lehmann. Was a chance if he took it first time, which he did.
That's an indication they have started well going forward. That's what they'll be so sick that they find themselves a goal behind. This Arsenal back four has looked anything but solid. It's a good effort, just needs a little bit more purchase on it. There have been spells when Arsenal just haven't looked like scoring from corners, have they? It's as if they just haven't had the belief that they are going to notch in previous seasons, but it's been a little bit different this term.
Shitu. Mahn's throw. An unnecessary free kick to give away by Hoyt. Pushing into the back of McNamee. Young looking for a quick delivery here. And waiting for Danny Shitu to arrive. Very square-shouldered central defender. The demerits, and they're deep as well, but Arsenal have coped. Back by Mariappa. Here's Young. Watford still on the front foot. Demerit still forward. Comes out to McNamee. Just couldn't quite set himself. That was Bangura who had a go from outside the penalty area, and then the flag was up to give Arsenal a little bit of breathing space. But it's a good response by Watford.
Well, it is. They'll be wanting hit back straight away. It was actually a corner, this. A little bit of doubt whether it was. He didn't know too much about it, Mariappa. From that moment on, they were struggling. Of all the ways you can concede against Arsenal, the beautiful patterns that they weave, you're hoping that you're going to avoid such a simple goal as that.
A battling run from Buatsa here. And a terrific goal, tucked in by Tommy Smith. And Watford hit back. And to be fair, it's reward for the way they played for much of this first quarter of the game.
Well, they've got in those channels so often and delivered balls into the box that you feel that sooner or later, if they could keep on doing it, they would have some reward. And that extra little bit of pace that they've got in this lineup that Adi Boothroyd has picked has come to fruition. He gets the little flick, and that does Tommy Smith a huge favour at the far stick, but doesn't he do well to react to the deflection off Justin Hoyt? gets in front of his man and tucks it away really well. Talking about they had to respond quickly, and they've done exactly that, Watford.
Well, as a youngster, he scored here against Manchester United when Watford were last in the Premiership, and he was really setting out his stall to make a name for himself as a top-class striker. And he's lost none of those instincts coming from the wide position that he operates in these days for Watford. A very well-taken goal.
Sometimes your wide man in a midfield four, when the cross comes in, managers go mad at them if they're not in there at the far post or even in the middle of the goal. They're just waiting outside for something to happen. But he was in there. If anything was going to come his way, he was going to be in a position to get his foot on it.
But all credit to Buatsa for his part in it as well.
That was a glorious run down this left flank. This involves pace and it involves strength. He gets the little deflection. That helps Tommy Smith. Clichy can't get near it. Takes it really crisply.
You have to have a nose for goal to be in there. And he didn't just elope in, he came in with real pace and purpose and got his reward. And the bottom club have drawn level against the side seeking third place by the end of the evening.
They missed a lot of chances this season, Watford. They missed a gaping one at Anfield against Liverpool last time out. I think it was Al Bangura.
It was Bangura, yeah.
Started over, and you just think it's a matter of belief at times. They can compete against these kind of sides.
Rosicki. Claire. Here's Hoyt. Three in the middle for Arsenal. And Percy. Really shouldn't have been given a sniff of a second touch there. Cleared by McNamee. Gilberto. Gleb. Most pretty defending by Chitu, but he got in the way. Hoyt. Well, it is the continuing joy of the Premiership. The most struggling of sides and flex their muscles against a team of many talents.
Oh, it's still early days, isn't it? We know that. But those are pretty encouraging stats from Watford's point of view. They're matching Arsenal at the moment.
The equaliser wasn't against the balance of the game. Maybe Arsenal taking the lead was. Here's a Fabregas. Away by Mariappa. Cesc Fabregas trying to get a measure of control back for Arsenal in midfield. Rosicki. Gleb cropping up on the left. Rosicki, even if he played more matches only recently back from injury, maybe not at his sharpest, but still wasn't going to get that. Who's remained upbeat and positive, and there's been no suggestion around these parts that Watford are in the need of a new boss. Here's Van Persie. Adebayor. They're trying to distract the defenders. And, Arsenal getting so far, but not any further.
Yeah, not just quite clicking into top gear at the moment. Arsenal, one or two passes unusually going astray.
Ashley Young, I think, has got instructions to try and help out in midfield whenever he can, make it a fifth man in that area to try and stop Arsenal really imposing themselves. This doesn't conclude the post-Christmas set of fixtures, because there's one game for tomorrow, and you can see it live with us on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And it's yet another drama at Charlton, with Alan Pardew in charge against Fulham. Amazing the number of games we seem to go to where it's a manager's first match. Arsene Wenger well aware that Alan Pardew is on his radar. In a week's time when Charlton come to the Emirates. Still looking convincing at the back again. Here's Mahn. You have to win the battle to earn the right to play. Still fans booing. Watford might be just overstepping the mark between being competitive and over-aggressive. It's no complaint from the visiting dugout.
There was a little scrap with Al Bangura. Van Persie came off the worst. It's a clash of heads, isn't it, that does it? Totally innocuous from Al Bangura.
Percy had treatment on the pitch, of course, has to return to the sidelines. Kerboff changing his boots. Have their full complement again. With half an hour gone. They had the lead, lost it to Tommy Smith's sharp equaliser. McNamee. Past Hoyt. And just playing it a little bit blind, needed to look up. He's complaining that Buatsa didn't move to where McNamee expected him to go.
A little bit of time to look up. Not me, but he'd be heartened by that. 2 against 1, and he slipped through the middle.
Buatsa. Certainly gave Manchester United a very good game here before losing 2-1. Watford. Here's Van Persie, though, trying to stretch them again. Pressed all the way, not fouled by the persistence of Mariappa. And here's Buatsa. And he can, on his good left foot, try and bend one across Lehmann there. He just stumbled in the act of shooting.
He's enjoying it, though, isn't he, Buatsa? You can see that. Hasn't had many opportunities through the middle. First time him and Ashley Young have teamed up together. It was a big call from Mady Boothroyd. Play those two. Ditchy's big, powerful target man. Different way of playing, but so far at least it's really reaping dividends. 2 mobile, quick lads up front.
Mady Boothroyd knows better than anyone that Watford's mistakes have been heavily punished. They've lost games they should have drawn. And drawn matches they were in a position to win. Typical at Anfield, really, on Saturday, 0-0 at half-time, and they allowed a goal to be scored from a throw-in on the halfway line. They were absolutely asleep at the start of the second half, and the die was cast against them from then on.
Just sensed that Arsenal back four a little bit rattled there. Ashley Young tried to help up Kolo Toure, and he shoved him away. Not Toure to do that. Maybe a bit of frustration in that rear guard for Arsenal. Not having it all their own way by any means.
Here is Toure. Upset the home fans by doing just what you described, Alan. It's his ball. Adebayor with some great control. Not able to wait for the ball to drop enough.
It was a beautifully weighted pass from the centre-half. Just a little punch 7-iron over the top of Danny Shitu, who was backtracking furiously. Takes it early, Adebayor. That's why it goes over the bar. He doesn't feel he can let it drop anymore, and he was right. Battle all day long on those kind of tussles. Watford, the long balls played up to the front lads. If it's a scrap, well, they'll scrap.
Jura's header. It's very nicely poised here from the neutral perspective. Mariappa. Bangura. Away by Clichy, but straight to Al Hassan Bangura. No answer. Gave it away to Rosicki. Adebayor having to check Watford trying to defend with a high line, and it worked. Adebayor still thought there was a chance for dropping the ball in there, and maybe there's a bit in it from Arsenal's point of view as well for future attacks.
Takes a bit of bottle to keep that high line, as you say, Martin. I think they know they've got to, Watford, because they've got to squeeze this midfield area. Can't afford to let those technicians in red and white have the way, have the space to pick out a pass. They haven't got too much pace in that central area of defence, Watford, and they know in a race that they'll probably come out second best, but they're squeezing at the moment, keeping a high line. It's worked.
Theo Walcott was in the Southampton side that lost 3-0 here on Boxing Day last year. He's had quite a year since then. He waits on the Arsenal bench. It's unusual for Arsene Wenger to name an unchanged side. They also had their problems. They beat Blackburn 6-2, but had their problems in that game. There was a moment when it could have gone to 3-3, and must have got 3 pretty late on.
Again, it was just a bouncing ball, a long one, and they get the decision. Watford, Giroud catching Ashley Young.
Taken by Stewart, well defended by Toure. Tight on the Shitu. Stewart there again. And Percy really flew in at the ball. This time the light being blue and the ball was still in the air, McNamee putting away the free kick. And Watford were last in the Premiership when they got to about this time of year. Decided not to spend money on new players. It's Adebayor getting pushed and shoved. It was a robust sort of defending by Shitu.
He's concentrating on the man a little bit more than the ball, you might say there, Danny Shitu. Always running the risk. He's got 2 hands around the forward. It's a risky old business that when you get into the penalty area. How many times have we seen the forward go down?
Smith did well to ease Clichy out of the way. Giving the game every chance to flow, and flow it certainly is doing. A bit too much of it from Arsenal's point of view towards their goals. Giroud didn't deal with it. Gilberto helped out. Not in so much of a hurry. Stumbled past his own player, McNamee, but it didn't distract McNamee. He's got a good cross in. Giroud did get ahead on that one. Now Van Persie and Rosicky. Van Persie again. There's a bit of a stumble by Stewart, and Van Persie races past him. And Foster just reached it. That could have been a calamity for Watford.
Well, you know, if that was on Robin Van Persie's other side, on his left foot, he would have had a go for goal there. It's quite a slippery surface, this. We've seen players slip already this half, and he would have let fire, I'm sure. He's just trying to slip it across the face of goal towards Adebayor for potential tapping.
Shitu. This on a day when Chelsea were held at home and Liverpool lost, but Fabregas. Well, he had a look to where Adebayor was, but then opted to let rip. You're quite right what you said earlier, Alan. He's not scored in the Premiership. His only goals this season were back in August in the Champions League qualifier.
That's a glorious little flick off from Adebayor. I don't think he could have actually found the striker there. Danny Shitu's body was blocking that pass, and as you say, he does have a look. He sees no, nothing on. Want to have a crack.
Headed on by Buatsa. It's been a fervent, passionate 40 minutes from Watford's point of view. They troubled Arsenal even before they went behind to the Arsenal corner kick routine.
Well, we're at the stage now, if you're a Watford player, if you're the manager, you know that points really aren't any good. What's a 9-point gap between them and fourth from bottom, Sheffield United. It's all about wins on the board now, I think. Eddie Boothroyd said it himself. It's now or never.
Buatsa, Smith. They've got another game against Wigan, then they go to Fulham the next two games. Watford. They will be games that they will be trying to get 6 points out of 6 from. Mann. Watford streaming back. Shitu is there, again with his uncomplicated way of defending. Stepped up initially from non-league football and times his roots to, you get reminded of his roots, shall I say.
Take that all day, won't they? The long, hopeful ball up to the front men.
It was Gilberto who made that block from Mann, but it hit him around the arm, and there was no shout for a penalty from the Watford players. Hit him on the elbow. It's free kick. It's gone Watford's way. Rosicky a little surprised.
I think he's given it. Mike Dean for backing in by Rosicky. Seemed to be just holding his ground, actually.
Actually, Mariappa ran away. I thought he thought that his was going to be a free kick that he'd have to defend, but actually he's the one player they've left back in the centre circle. Everyone else is up and around for Watford. They possibly get their noses in front before half-time. Not like that. Mariappa's going to get an involvement here. Smith. Good early cross that Merritt attacked it. Here's Mann. McNamee. Alan, do you think it's fair to say that Watford played a bit more football tonight without the big man up front?
I think that's fair.
They also had their big man in Adebayor.
they've gotten into these kind of positions. They've got a different kind of target now. They've got two lads willing to work the channels.
Oh, better ball then. Smith had pulled away and he was onside on the right-hand side.
Completely on Mark Dalglish, had been really pushed on in towards Al-Bangura. I'll be delighted the way this first half has gone. And look at that last 5 minutes, Watford totally bossing it.
Smith. Was aimed towards Demerit. Bangura. But still on the attack as this first half draws to a close. Demerit. So another strike from the Bangura this time.
You could see his main intention was must keep this down, must keep it down, and he did exactly that. It wasn't an easy one. Just comes across it slightly.
Two added minutes. Fabregas just ran away from him.
Well, it hasn't gone their way, has it, this first half, Arsenal's? But of any team in the Premiership, they make you concentrate really for the entire 90 minutes, because you just know that at some point they're going to explode into action. They've done really well, Watford, competing for every ball, defending very well.
Arsenal in December in the Premiership, one drawn, one. So well, it shouldn't be such a greater shock that they are level at this stage. But they will expect more than 1 point from their short trip to Vicarage Road.
Andy alluded to it just before the match. You look at the two sides and you can see only one winner, but that's the beauty of this game. You just never know. You never know. OK, we're only at the halfway stage, but Watford will be delighted.
Mark. Rosicki sent tumbling by Adrian Mariappa. Well, Arsene Wenger, who is contenting himself with a watching brief, has now stepped forward into the technical area to indicate maybe a bit of discontent from the Arsenal management. Kleb, that could change if they can get their noses back in front before half-time, but Mann worked hard for his team. That's excellent work by Buatsa. Young's offside at the end of it, but Hammer Buatsa showing his liking for playing up front, and it's been a very good half for Watford. Lady Boothroyd was talking about the Ashes for his analogies in his matchday programme and with Jeff Shreves in his pre-match interview. But Watford, whatever the motivation, have been right at it here. Tommy Smith equalising after Arsenal had taken the lead, unusually for them, from a well-worked set-piece routine, which Gilberto rounded off. Half-time at Vicarage Road. Arsenal not having it their own way by any means. It's 1-1.
Very good half for Watford. Andy and myself will be back with the analysis of that 45 in just a moment or so. Gunners in front, and you thought then they might power away, but Watford didn't let that happen. One apiece it is. Sure you're not missing matches at this time of the year. Tonight we've got Football First, Match Choice, 8:30. First opportunity to see all of today's Premiership football. And don't forget, tomorrow night we have live football from the Valley. Alan Pardew in charge of Charlton for the first time. Fulham, the visitors, 7:30 start, Sky Sports 1. And that's the last of this set of fixtures. The day started early for us at Stamford Bridge with the champions. Chelsea held by Reading, as you can see. Blackburn beat Liverpool in the pay-per-view game. Bolton recovering from a goal down to beat Newcastle 2-1. Nothing at Goodison between Everton and Middlesbrough. Manchester United beating Wigan 3-1. Ronaldo on as a second-half substitute, and he got 2 of the 3. Just 1 goal separating Sheffield United and Manchester City. They got it. Spurs beating Villa 2-1. West Ham beaten at home by Portsmouth 2-1. Obviously the result of the day, and the Readings from their point of view, and Manchester United, whose lead at the top now is 4 points. They are asking and continue to ask a few questions of Chelsea, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I mean, I'm not surprised that's been the case this year. I thought that the side that Alex Ferguson had amassed over the last couple of years was now ready, now had the experience.
Side or the squad? I noticed today he was saying that people are a little dismissive of his squad. It's better than Manchester United are getting credit for.
I think he's right. You take it back, for instance, say the guys that don't play regularly. Wes Brown, Mikel Silvestre, quality footballers, both can come and play along there. And then you've got Ainsa or Evra at left back, plenty cover there. You look in midfield, depending on Alan Smith's fitness, of course, as well, but you have the likes of John O'Shea, an international footballer who can come in there, Fletcher, an international footballer who can come in here, and in the games that he's played recently has scored valuable goals for Manchester United. Park just back from being fit. If Solskjaer's fit, there's another addition up top. If Alan Smith's fit, he can play up top. So I mean, I think there are areas that would worry me if it was Manchester United.
Larson from now on.
Larson, of course, is a massive signing. So that's why Sir Alex is saying, I'm happy with my squad, and I think it'll get him through. I think he's probably right.
Is it actually a better squad in many ways than Chelsea's? In terms of numbers, experience, volume, if you like, put it another way?
It's probably, I mean, that's hard to equate today because Chelsea were missing so many players. If you looked at Chelsea's bench today, you would have said yes, but Chelsea have so many players not fit or injured who weren't even on the bench. When you think of their skipper John Terry, their goalkeeper Pericek, their goalkeeper Carlo Curicini, you know, I can name another 4 or 5 who weren't even on the bench. So it's hard. I think the squads are just about even, but United will feel theirs can go the distance. So will Chelsea.
Let's get the details of this change then with Alan Smith and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. You were quite right. There's an injury involved. Johan Djourou has a tight hamstring. Philippe Senderos comes on. One Swiss international for another, so Arsenal still with 11 different nationalities. Robin van Persie was talking last week about the fact that Arsenal have done very well against the top clubs, winning at Old Trafford, etc., but need to be more ruthless against the lesser lights. All those words are still very pertinent after 45 lively Watford minutes here. Well, to be fair to Arsenal, they won 4-0 at Reading. They beat Watford and Sheffield United both at home 3-0. They've done pretty well against the promoted clubs and until this one so far.
It's not as if they've been out-battled, though, is it, tonight so far, Arsenal? They've been really outdone by pace and inventiveness up those channels. You come to Watford and you think, well, we've got to weather that storm. A really physical approach, but it's not been like that tonight from Watford. A little change of tack for Eddie Boothroyd.
Klep, Rosicky, who are on the fringes of the first half, shall we say. Hoyt. Then gets it wrong with Fabregas. Bangura. There's some action for Philippe Senderos. Rosicky. Bayor. Watford back off him. Arm goes in strongly. Fabregas hasn't given it up. He doesn't know where the ball is. He does now. He's got it. Hoyt. Now Gilberto, the Arsenal score. And Adebayor. And ball.
decent chance, that, wasn't it? Just rolled off his chest onto his arm. They certainly haven't hit the heights in the first half going forward. Tried to thread more often than not passes through the middle. It's a reflection of the underperformance of Kleb and Rosicky on the flanks. They haven't been able to play those little 1-2s and get in behind this Arsenal back four so far.
Smith. He's full of vim and vigour. He scored his first goal of his second spell with Watford. Away by Gilberto, but to no great purpose. And now it's McNamee. Toure pressed. It is an Arsenal throw, but clearing their lines a problem again. Demerit. This time no one for Watford was chasing it, which has been totally out of character with what they put into this match so far.
That's the challenge for them, keeping up that tempo, that work ethic, making sure Arsenal can't settle.
Senderos. Good angle on that, Ben Foster, because he's in behind Clichy, who did react very well to a ball that he had to turn and pursue. Here's Rosicky, leaving Mariappa in his wake, and Rosicky went for the near side, and Foster, where goalkeepers hate to be beaten, kept it out.
Well, the ball was just in the middle of his body almost, so it was a difficult one to take, but first time really Mariappa has been exposed and has come worse off. It's a difficult one for Rosicky. It's a stab off with the outside of his right boot. Straight up Ben Foster.
Arsenal looking to strike from the corner again. That's needing a bit of a smother there from Foster. Fabregas, the man for Arsenal by the near post. Arsenal supporters in the corner of the ground, just behind where the corner's being taken. Around 2,000 of them. Senderos and Gilberto trying to make their moves from deep again. Another ball very nearly reached Gilberto, pulled away towards that far post and a touch on. Hoyt. Gilberto again. And a Bayor. Really thrusting run from him. Van Persie wasn't expecting the ball. Wasn't the best ball.
Well, a couple of set-piece corners, haven't they, Arsenal? I think Adi Boudreau at half-time would have just been reminding his players that's not what we're about, the way that we conceded that goal to Arsenal. Not competing for the ball into the box. A lot of tightening up there.
Toure. He's obviously got duties to stop Hoyt breaking forward from right back. Hoyt, his parents are both international athletes. He's got plenty of athleticism himself. Toure. Arns header. Robin Van Persie. Away from Shitu, but had to play it under challenge, and Watford did their work effectively, and there's been that glow, that extra gloss and sheen to Arsenal's football that has become their trademark. They do have a lot of fans for the way they play within the professional football industry. Rosicki, mistake between Smith and Mariappa. In goes Adebayor, doesn't run for him, it does for Danny Shitu. Whacks it away with some relief, I should imagine. Fabregas, picked off by Jordan Stewart. Here's Buatsa. Torre's got a sprint here to try and prevent a corner. Hasn't been able to do that. A corner it is for Watford.
He's got a good feel to it this game, nicely balanced.
Well, there is a splendid atmosphere in the stadium. You can't really get 20,000 in here these days. But both sets of fans enjoying being out on Boxing Day. Revelling in a real gung-ho contest. Dean's just trying to keep it under control.
Well, they had some words there earlier on when Danny Shitu just challenged on Van Persie. He'd gone right in on the Dutchman. Very rarely have those two Arsenal forwards been able to turn without any pressure on them. There's a few afters, few words spoken between the two.
Tommy Smith went out for a short one. It's a deeper ball in. Lehmann bosses it. It's Buatsa. Clichy. It's a can-do better evening so far for Arsenal. Adebayor. Percy's on the move. Rosicki trying to find him. Demerit actually was aware that he had some assistance from an assistant referee, Gary Britton. Do you think, Alan, that Arsenal go to Sheffield United on Saturday? Surely come across another team that will be up for the battle.
Well, another test for them, particularly if they don't get 3 points here. It'll be a blow to morale, that's for certain.
But counting this game, 5 of the next 6 for Arsenal are away. Not all in the Premiership, of course. Hoyt, and just on his guard there against McNamee.
Good roll there, Hoyt. Just made sure he got the body in the way once he'd nudged it back to his keeper.
The fans on that far side claiming the ball had gone out. No indication that was the case. Van Persie. Clem. Adebayor has got a long stride to pursue, and to reach a ball, but get his foot anywhere near it in the end.
He's got to make sure Watford that they don't sink back further towards their own goal. Adebayor just a few seconds ago was able to receive it and turn. Doesn't happen at all often.
Led away by Senderos, the dropping ball. Last win over Arsenal, incidentally, was the back end of a relegation scene, 1988. I think you played in, didn't you?
I don't think it's one of the standout games in my career. I remember Highbury was half full. Rick Holden goal.
Rick Holden it was, yeah. Steve Harrison was the Watford manager then, now of course a coach at Middlesbrough. Toure. And Percy Shitu ran for Adebayor. On two Arsenal then, and here's a Kleb. Gavin Mahon. He had a lenient interpretation of that. It's offside. Van Persie can't put it in at the first attempt anyway. Does it the second. But the flag was up and the whistle had long gone.
There's no doubt that he was off. Not for the first time. Half a yard, isn't he? Great save from the keeper, by the way. He doesn't see the flag, Ben Foster.
invariably is never as big a margin for offside as you think, because of the movement of defenders coming out. Mariappa, Buata, now Smith. Mariappa's gone on into the middle. Smith's going to get round Clichy. Well, it had gone out. I wondered whether it would be a corner, but it's there's a goal kick, and Lehmann's anxious to get the ball and take that goal kick. Arsenal in a hurry.
I think they need a bit of urgency introduced to the game. One or two signs that they might just be finding the feet. Trying to thread a couple of passes through.
And we're just trying to slip one forward for Ashley Young, who applauds the effort. Oh, Pat Rice, Arsenal through and through, except in his career for 3 and a bit years when he played for Watford in the early 1980s. This is McNamee. He'd be worried about this Watford team alongside Arsene Wenger there, because they're enjoying the challenge.
They are. It was a slack pass across field for Adebayor, and he apologises for it. He's put his team under pressure.
Waits on the line. He's scored from a flick on. I think it was at Newcastle recently from Smith. And goes to Merritt. Lehmann actually came out. Beaten to it by Gilberto. Headed back by Stewart. Lehmann's on the move again. It's his ball this time, and he's concentrating against Lehmann, who does get distracted, as you all know. He's concentrating on trying to get this game won and get Arsenal up into a higher gear. Certainly get the ball higher up the pitch. And they're back defending again.
Well, it's been a good start to the second half by Watford. Easy sometimes just to sit back and see how things develop, but they've tried to take the initiative again.
Ashley Young is, as usual, on the free kicks. We're on corners now.
They've defended these pretty well, Arsenal. Much better than they have in previous seasons, you can point to. And they continue doing that.
Merritt was coming in, and it didn't look quite convincing that time.
Seem to just try and flick it on rather than head it towards goal. Again, Lehmann comes, gets nowhere near it. The slightest of touches from the defender. Is it off an arm there? Might have actually been off to Merritt's arm.
Buata is trying to get a position there around Lehmann. Keep an eye on that in front of the goalkeeper. Both trying to deal with Buata. Out comes Lehmann. That's a very, very positive piece of goalkeeping.
I think it is, bearing in mind the way he came and didn't get.
Oh, now he's kicked it against Kolo Toure. And it's suddenly all getting a bit panicky at the back from Arsenal.
Yeah, it is. Frenetic.
Calm down.
Just saying, yeah, calm down.
I was watching Dad's Army over the festivities. Don't panic. Here's Stewart. Goal kick and a bit of breathing space. Lehmann actually has been the one trying to keep order.
Well, he's had a few challenges on it. He finished up, hit the back of the net like a boxer on the ropes there, where Buata was jostling for position.
He's just tapping his temple in the direction of Buata to say, calm down. Well, David Seaman needs to be pretty calm, but his goalkeeping days long gone. And now watching and wondering how his former colleagues are going to do here. And there's plenty to wonder and worry about from the Arsenal perspective. this, Alan, is as it has been for Aidy Boothroyd in a number of games at this stage. This is where concentration, application is so important. It's taken from you when you think maybe there's going to be some prize. Premiership will be a very cruel league.
I was here on the Monday night when they were 2 goals up against Fulham and ended up drawing 3-3. Maybe that was a night where they just couldn't see out the challenge and they lost the nerve, really. As I said in the first half, though, a point at this stage isn't too much good. Brilliant point against a team like Arsenal, but look at the overall picture. They really need to start stacking up from victories if they can.
3 forward there to emphasise the positive approach again. They have conceded 6 goals in the last 5 minutes of Premiership matches this season. A long way away from that stage yet. It's only been a few Arsenal attacks that have carried the hint of the genuine quality that everyone knows they possess. Adebayor, Rosicky. Here's Hoyt. Pleb. Clichy a bit reluctant to come forward here. They switched it to the left side. Toure. By Fabregas. Get away from Bangura.
Standing up very well to the challenge, aren't they, Watford, defensively? It's coming their way at the moment, they're able to deal with.
Toure. It's a well-weighted ball for Fabregas. On for Adebayor. Is it a dagger through the heart of Watford here? But not through the resistance of Ben Foster.
Oh, what a good goalkeeper he is. How important might that save be? Watford can get the second.
Buatsa for the central route for Watford, for Young. 2 quick passes and Arsenal were in. Foster preserved the parity for the home side. Mark. McNamee brought into the team all this game. Looking for Young's head. And Young seemed to be looking for Smith rather than the back of the net. Clichy. Fabregas plotting. Brilliant football brain of his, young brain. 19-year-old to number 19, Gilberto. Pleb. Hoyt coming from right back on the outside to in. Here's Hoyt! Another good save by Foster. And it's Danny Shittu who gets it away as Adebayor was looking for the rebound.
Well, sometimes they go to a striker, don't they, and it's a simple tap-in, open goal. They get a little bit of luck, Watford. Have to stay organised here.
It's Van Persie. Here's Clichy. Adebayor. Pleb. Still Pleb. And it hit Mariappa. Man won't be able to break there without Buatsa, who's face down in the other half of the pitch.
Glad of that rest. Watford come under some serious pressure there. Sustained pressure from Arsenal. Just when you want your goalkeeper to pull out a save, he does it, Ben Foster. Again, trying to thread the way through the middle. Little swinger from Hoyt. They get the look. That's through Danny Shittu's legs, and Adebayor just knocks it inside. Again, he stays big, he doesn't go down too early. Ben Foster strikes it well enough, goes for power.
Well, he's certainly Big Ben at the moment for Watford. And at the other end of the field, Boaz has certainly been strutting his stuff. Back helping defend here. Not too much in it. This seem a little more serious. Quick reminder that we've got more live Premiership action for you on Wednesday night, tomorrow night. Charlton against Fulham from 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports HD 1.
Looks almost as if it was that shoulder barge. Maybe he's injured his shoulder, something like that. That's the way he's walking and being carried.
Yeah. And Stewart was calling for it. So, on the outside, and he ran a long, long way to get there, Jordan Stewart. Did play in the Premiership for a previous club, Leicester City. Back in position. There's Damien Francis, who's coming on, who was in the team for the early months of the season. Formerly with Wimbledon first up, Norwich City, and more recently Wigan. He's definitely a midfield man. So
Tommy Smith was looking across, and that Damien Francis does the gaffer want me up front or not? The message didn't come. Smith remains on the right-hand side of midfield. Ashley Young up front on his own.
He really is a midfield player. Francis, Smith. The prod of a cross that Senderos dealt with, headed back by Bangura. And Senderos had more problems with the Damien Francis then. Watford fans thought they saw a bit of leaning on by the Arsenal substitute against the Watford substitute. The merit. Here's Mariappa. Smith trying to turn Clichy. He really feels that he can do well against Gael Clichy. He's run on hoping for a quick throw by Mariappa. Senderos wrapping a bit of himself around Young. Young is committing the first contact and the first foul.
I saw one of these in the first half. Always asking for trouble when you got your arms across your man. Senderos did there. Player goes to ground, he asks a question of the referee.
Well, Alex Sleb is off. 20 minutes to go. And enter Theo Walcott, with maybe those unhappy memories of a year ago when he was in that Southampton side. He actually started the game when they lost 3-0 to Watford on Boxing Day 2005, so here's an opportunity to make amends from a personal point of view. Hoyt almost teed up Ashley Young here. And look at that again. I know they are young defenders, but
he's playing up front on his own, Ashley Young. I think Damien Francis has just been told, start in midfield, just in front of that midfield four, and just try and get on and support Young with those late runs as often as you can.
It's 1-1 on the scoreline, but in many ways Arsenal have been second best here. Mariappa's throw. Maybe one of the reasons he's in the team is a useful addition. He's a central defender by trade, and Bouchard using what he has at his disposal to try and come up with the big formula, the winning formula.
Oh, it's interesting, he didn't put Darius Henderson on and revert to type.
Mann. It's overshow it in the circumstances by Young. Van Persie. Walcott's tremendous pace on the right-hand side now, Arsenal. Can work it for him. Adebayor trying to plough his own furrow. Mike Dean had a think about that. Went across.
I sense it needs something like that from Arsenal. Somebody to take the ball by the horns, as Adebayor tried to do then. A player capable of beating a man. At the moment, their passing hasn't bore any fruit at all. They've been disappointing on that front, really. Arsene Wenger's side haven't found their rhythm at all tonight. Trailing on those attempts, but more than matching this Arsenal side. Watford, the second half continues.
Much as Adi Butra would be delighted that it's still level, his team haven't had a second half attempt. And losing Buatsa, maybe Smith would be alongside him. Performer in the attacking sense of evening so far. Stewart. Needs an apology from the taker of the free kick. Far too strongly. Now Mann, coming towards the final 15 minutes on a day when Liverpool have been beaten and Chelsea have been held at home by Reading. Arsenal continue to be level pegging at Watford. Rosicki for Clichy. When he didn't look, he got it to Van Persie. Now McNamee. Good challenge by Gilberto for Arsenal. And now Francis. Needs to go again. Adebayor did well for Arsenal. Fabregas was quickly there in support. Adebayor trying to get away from Demerit, which isn't the easiest thing to do. Fabregas thinking about the shot, having the shot. It's still 1-1.
Well, they've been encouraged by that Watford. They just kept Arsenal at bay, forced them to shoot from distance. Very organised in this match today. Watford, they really have. They've kept themselves together as a back four, as a unit. Midfield players protecting really well, working hard at a frustrating time for Fabregas and co.
Taking the free kick quickly. Walcott. Looking for Hoyt. Good early cross. Defended well by Mariappa. Now Senderos. Clichy. Bursting past two. Past three. Well, it was a very worthy run, in keeping with what you were saying a few minutes ago, Alan, about someone really grasping the extent of the problem here for Arsenal.
I think that's right, because they have been so organised. It needs somebody just to beat a couple of men. And he does that. Does the ball just jump up a little bit for him as he goes to strike it? There's a slash at it rather. Now Clichy.
Expect a spirit from Watford, but they played with no mean ability here. I think it's fair to say that Foster has made the more difficult saves. Arsenal would spin it that way, what we've seen so far. Bangura. very hard. And get some possession for Arsenal. Darius Henderson keeps his involvement in every Premiership game. Left out today. The striker who hasn't scored since the Millennium Stadium when Watford earned their Premiership place by beating Leeds in that playoff. Well, he's very hard-working and willing foil.
Well, you could say now would be a good time to open your account.
The sort of thing that happens in football.
Yeah.
But it's Francis in there with a raised foot. Raised too high for Touré's liking. Feeling a bit protective about Senderos.
He's stooping a bit, isn't he, Philip Senderos? It is a high challenge. In the box, those are the kind of bouncing balls you go for.
And he's won one game all season. Those are the balls you have to go for. Otherwise the manager is fuming. Rosicki, another player who's not put his stamp on this game. And on comes Julio Baptista. Somebody, Alan, I read in your excellent newspaper column you interviewed recently. What sort of frame of mind did you...
I think he's been frustrated, actually, that he hasn't played as big a part as he anticipated. I think a lot of that is down to fitness.
And here he is, so a chance straight away. Julio Baptista! And it's just gone wide. Frustrated again.
Well, what an introduction that would have been. That's his position, coming onto things from midfield as a second striker, you might say. He just goes for the placement. There's plenty of time to pick his spot. I think Ben Foster was altogether confident it was going to go wide.
Here's Adebayor taking on Danny Shittu. The defender was allowed to reposition. Adebayor couldn't get it past him. That's the second time, but there's a cover in the shape of Mariappa. Just over 10 minutes left. It's going to be a real fight to the finish at Vicarage Road in the Premiership Boxing Day programme. Baptista, the Brazilian, who came from Spain, on loan from Real Madrid. A loan swap with Jose Antonio Reyes. Fabregas with a free kick. It's an easy one for Francis to defend. And Watford stream out. Clichy. Now Bangura.
These are the moments, aren't they, last 10 minutes of a game when Arsenal can be so devastating.
Adebayor. And Percy's there for Adebayor. Well, they are getting into the positions to win the game.
Well, they have had the chances, haven't they? They haven't been at the best tonight, Arsenal, far from it. They've had the chances to wrap this game up. That's an indication of how it's gone. The strike at the vital moment hasn't been there.
And when you've scored in 3 consecutive Premiership games, as Adebayor has, it's a particularly disappointing effort for him. Henderson. Was caught wanting a bit. There's Mariappa. Senderos set it well to win that battle. A strong physical tussle against Henderson. Handball. I guess you didn't do your interview with Baptista in English.
No, he's He's still getting to grips with the English language, which is never, it's always an obstacle, isn't it, when you're trying to settle into a dressing room, can't speak the language. Having 3 lessons a week, he'll get there. Interesting to see if he actually stays at Arsenal. He's on a season-long loan, isn't he?
A bit less on this one, Jordan Stewart. Shitu, Smith going for it. Made by Gilberto, must have been fearing that that would have been a corner. Walcott, oh, and Van Persie's onside here. Watford got it wrong. Here's Robin Van Persie, can he get it right? He does. The signs were there. And Robin Van Persie, Arsenal's leading scorer, has maybe spared some blushes here at Vicarage Road.
Well, it's just pure quality that beats Watford in the end. He had a chance in the first half to let go. That time he was on his right side and he chose to try and square it. This time he's only got one thing in mind here when he gets released. Just cut inside and find that far corner. And the accuracy is stunning. He does it time and time again, Robin Van Persie. He's absolutely lethal on that left peg. And is that going to be enough to get all 3 points for Arsenal? Has a look. No, I'll have a go myself. It's a glorious finish past a keeper who's been in great form tonight.
But Van Persie is in great form himself. But it looks as though it's yet another harsh lesson in Premiership life for Watford.
Well, he came up with a good analogy, I think, Andy Boothroyd, before this match. He said sometimes it feels like you've got a water pistol against some powerful cannons. You can see what he means. This team, this half, they just haven't been able to provide such a goal threat as they were in the first.
Lehmann has a bit of a flap at it, and then there's a shout at Baptista to leave it. He's held it forward for Adebayor. Walcott's in there, lots of space coming from the opposite flank. Adebayor is delayed, so he tries to go through Van Persie. Here is Walcott. Here Walcott, who made Van Persie's run. The Dutchman did a lot after that, of course, himself, with his own particular talents. Roberto. Fabregas. Baptista. Now Hoyt. Arsenal are so good at turning defending into goal scoring. Had precious few opportunities to show off that side of their game. They have done it at a crucial stage inside the last 10 minutes.
Well, if they do get the win, it's probably answered a few critics who claim that they aren't able to get these kind of victories, these gritty, ugly ones almost, when you're not at full throttle. Just make sure you get a win in the way that Chelsea have done over the last couple of seasons.
And Persie, it's a bit late on him by Stewart. Incidentally, there is a booking to tell you about. It happened in the aftermath of the goal, and in that dugout area where substitute hasn't come on, Lloyd Doyley got a yellow card. He was warming up where Arsenal was celebrating, in fact. Got himself involved in something that he shouldn't have done. Demerit. They usually throw Danny Shitu forward in emergency situations, and it's certainly an emergency again for Watford now. Fabregas wondered who and what was behind him. Bangura. It's Henderson and Shitu, the two strikers now. Young on the right, Smith on the left.
A bit different to how it started, isn't it? With Buatsu and Young, two quick, mobile forwards, which I'm sure Adi Boothroyd would want to continue with in the next few games over the Christmas period, but looks like Buatsu might be out for a bit, so that's another blow for him.
Van Persie. Here's Gilberto. It looks like be another Arsenal win without Thierry Henry. Watford certainly won't give it up in the dying moments here. But now they've got another injury problem. They might need another forward because Danny Shitu slow to pick himself up. And Arsenal may find some gaps here. They're attacking with four. They're attacking with Julio Baptista. Van Persie was just poised to nudge it over the line, and Stewart did brilliantly.
That's always going to happen. Really pushing to try and get the equaliser. Inevitably, you're going to leave gaps, and against Arsenal, it can prove costly. Really good stop from Jordan Stewart.
Shitu's presence. Arsenal aren't really overcommitting at the corner, to be fair. Just trying to run down the clock here. Fabregas, it's not in his nature. Henderson. And that's the end for Danny Shitu. It's another injury problem for Watford at this very busy time of the season.
Well, so many positives that they can take out of this game. The way that they've competed with Arsenal, Watford, but at the end of it all, chances are they're going to finish up with nothing. And that's what matters now. Points on the board.
Smith. Away by Clichy, but only to Gavin Mahon. Watford still have one more substitute they can use. In injury time, they're going to bring on Tamas Prishkin. It's a little bit of a surprise as to me. He's an international striker, he plays for Hungary, and yet they seem to put every other player into a striking position, but bring on one who's actually plays there. Obviously hasn't impressed Adi Boothroyd that much.
Obviously hasn't impressed the gaffer.
Prishkin scored the winner for Hungary in their last international against Canada in November.
And a sobering night, isn't it, for Adi Boothroyd? Spoke about the positives he would take, he would want to take, but again...
Well, they need more than treble their current points tally to stand any chance of survival, and as you say, sobering it is the right word. He'll hardly be feeling festive, but he knows there's been a lot of good work from his players in this match. Frischke. Young. So it's Henderson charged after usual. I say charge.
You can't do that.
With a
You can't do that, by the way.
barge at the end of the charge.
He was just standing there, just in height, nothing more, protecting his keeper. Rather.
Julio Baptista. Walcott. Here go from the left. And having been involved in the crucial goal, trying to finish with his first Arsenal goal. So Wenger just checking with the physio Gary Lewin as to how long there is left. We're dealing in the last few seconds here. Dean's had a look at his watch. Henderson, that's a foul. It is the same old story for Watford in this Premiership campaign. They've really tested the opposition, and high-class opposition in the red and white of Arsenal. They need maybe a change of fortune, maybe a lucky break here from a long throw from Adrian Mariappa. Oh, the first header was a good one from Demerit. They put so much into it, but it's Arsenal's players who are punching the air with delight at the final whistle. The type of challenge that they've been accused of failing in the past. Even their own players have spoken up. They need to do better against the lesser clubs, no more so than Robin van Persie. And he was as good as his words, because he got a very good goal to win it for Arsenal late on, after Gilberto had given them the lead following a corner. But Watford had hit back straight away from the lively Tommy Smith, and it was a very lively Watford performance. But it's ended with another defeat. Arsenal with 4 wins out of 4 now against the promoted clubs, as they head for Sheffield United on Saturday. Final score at Vicarage Road. The face of defeat again for Adi Boothroyd. Watford 1, Arsenal 2.
Well, that completes today's fixtures, with one more to come from this set, but more of that in a moment or so. That's Watford beaten at home here by Arsenal by 2-1. Results elsewhere today, in case you've just come in and missed anything. Blackburn beat Liverpool by 1-0. Bolton were 2-1 winners over Newcastle. Reading got the result of the day, twice coming from behind to get a 2-2 against the champions at Stamford Bridge. Everton 0, Middlesbrough 0. Manchester United beat Wigan 3-1. Cristiano Ronaldo on as a second-half substitute, and he scored twice. Sheffield United 0, Manchester City 1. 2 goals from Jermaine Defoe gave Spurs a 2-1 win over Villa. West Ham were beaten at home 2-1 by Pompey. And there's confirmation at the bottom of the game that we've just watched. Remember, football first, 8:30 tonight for a first look at all of today's football. Straight to Match Choice this evening. So this is how the table looks, with Watford getting adrift now. Charlton play tomorrow, so they can make up some ground on West Ham, but at the moment the gap is 6 points. It's 8 between them and Sheffield United, who are just outside the drop zone, down today on the back of that defeat at home by Manchester City. Middlesbrough falling as well. Blackburn with a little bit of breathing space now, back into 15th. Wigan falling again. City up into 13th. No change for Fulham or Newcastle. Halfway, no change for Villa nor Reading, despite their point today. Everton stay 8th, Spurs 7th. Liverpool down today as Pompey retake 5th, and Bolton move back into 4th. Arsenal up into 3rd on the back of that. 10 points adrift of Chelsea, who are 4 back on Manchester United. confirmation again. Claire Tomlinson will be along tonight with a first look at all of today's Premiership football at 8:30, straight to Match Choice. And tomorrow, that's the game, the last of the fixtures that we are looking forward to already. Alan Pardew's first in charge of Charlton. Fulham, the visitors at the Valley. It's a 7:30 start on Sky Sports 1. All reaction from here when we come back, where Arsenal have won by 2-1. We'll also be taking a look back shortly at what happened at Stamford Bridge today. And we'll be naming the man of the match here when we come back.
for 2007 on Sky Sports.
In the January sales, Alaskans say they get an early night to be first in the queue. South Africans will leave the serious shopping to their partner. And around the world, lots of us find it hard to control our excitement. This January, the HSBC sale has gone green. For every product you buy in it, we'll donate to conservation projects around the world. Save more than money in the HSBC Green Sale. Starts Friday.
I'm the champ.
I think I want to do something.
Like what?
Fight.
People are going to think you're going crazy.
We have the contract from Mason Dixon. When he heard you were interested in fighting again, he thought, why not put something together?
But I ain't interested in getting like mangled and embarrassed. Takes guts climbing back in that ring.
You can do it! Come on!
Rocky Balboa.
Fantastic savings!
Save a total of £400 on this Philips 32-inch HD-ready TV, now only $599. Comet, we live electricals.
At Thomson, you'll find our web prices on the high street. And we won't charge you a fuel supplement on any Thomson holiday. Thomson, web prices on the high street.
Following a near-death experience, 80% of people report seeing a blinding white light. Sometimes they don't come back alone. White noise, the light.
With comprehensive cover from Norwich Union Direct, we'll replace your child's car seat after an accident, even if it doesn't look damaged. And we'll give you an extra discount if you and your partner insure with us. And every week, a Mini can be won with any new or renewed car policy. Contact us and see how we can make you happy.
Big B&Q sale just got bigger. There's 20% off all appliances when you spend over £150, and that's on top of sale prices. The big B&Q sale just got better.
Call me style-conscious, but I just can't leave home without my signature pen, sports car, and my latest toy. Stylish looks aside, it offers all my digital entertainment at the touch of a button. Movies, music, pictures, easily accessed with this clever little remote, which fits into this stunningly slim design.
The HP Pavilion DV6000 series entertainment notebook with Intel Centrino Duo mobile technology.
HP, the computer is personal again.
Mate, could you pass me that drill? Can I just have the drill?
Extra low prices!
Get the Samsung 40-inch HD-ready LCD TV for only $999. Comet, we live electricals.
For Glasgow, turn left. Take the next right. Continue straight on. Keep going straight
Peugeot 207, the drive of your life.
Arsenal then by 2-1. This is the one that won it from Robin van Persie. What a goal. And he has been named man of the match. Here he is with Jeff Shreves.
Robin, 3 goals and all 6 points in 2 games. Is that what you call a happy Christmas?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the last game against Blackburn and today, it's very important to win. And we get them 6 points, so that's the main thing in this period.
Did you win today without being at your very best?
Yeah, I think so. If you compare this game with the game against Blackburn, it was a bit less, but I understand that because Watford play in a different way, very physical. So we have to put our body in the game as well. And that's what we did, and finally we get the 3 points. So, but honestly, I think Watford earned some credits as well because they play with their heart.
Is that perhaps what Arsenal were lacking earlier in the season? You couldn't handle physical games?
I'm not sure. I think we could handle it. We were quite unlucky at the start of the season. Opponents came here and they had 1 shot on target and it's suddenly a goal. So we were unlucky. I think we improved a bit about the physical stuff because we have to, especially in away games like this.
How concerned were you when chances were coming and going in the second half?
Oh yeah, quite concerned because there had a few chances as well. And honestly, this game, the difference wasn't too big. So we were lucky finally with the 2-1 score.
Now, you were joint leading goal scorer in the league last season with 11. You've got 10 already. What's the difference this season, apart from Thierry Henry not playing of late?
I'm playing a bit more, I think so, because the first 2 seasons, especially the first one, you have to adapt in the English way, and it was very physical. I have to get used to that kind of stuff. And the second year, I was improving, and now I'm ready to play game after game, and I think that's the big difference. I'm playing more, and my confidence is growing every match.
And how different is it to play when Thierry Henry isn't playing?
It's very difficult because if I could choose, I want him next to me, of course. I think everyone wants Thierry next to him because he can provide things, he can do things out of nowhere. But even without him, we're doing quite well. So I think that's a big compliment for us all.
Back up to 3rd. The manager says you're still in the title race. Do the players believe him?
Oh yeah, we have to. He's the manager. I think it's a good idea that we have to go for the first place. If it is ideal, I'm not sure, but we go for it.
Okay, well, you are the Barclays man of the match today, Robin. Well played.
Thank you very much.
That's a long, well, maybe. I think that answer, wasn't it? He's not convinced, is he? Why did he win man of the match?
I just think at times, Richard, when there isn't a definitive man of the match who stood head and shoulders above the rest, you're always trying to pick someone from the winning team. I think that's the thing we do like to try and do. And when there's no one who really stands up and is exceptional, I don't think Arsenal had anyone who was like that today, then you have to look elsewhere. Who's won the match? Who's produced a moment of top quality football that's swung the match one way or the other? The answer was Robin van Persie, just for this goal. The one thing Watford will be really disappointed about is that they've got a free kick and this is just hooked away. And look at Van Persie, just gone out a shot, so he's making a long run. Demerit makes a decision to stay up and try and get him offside, which doesn't work. But from then, I'm looking at that thinking, I know what he wants to do. As soon as he's got the ball, if I was Demerit, I'd be thinking, try and keep him going the way he is, but don't let him do that. Now, I know that's easier said than done when you're talking about a quality footballer, but you've got to exaggerate it in many ways if you're a defender so that he does keep going on his right side. Because if you let him do that, then the majority of times you let him do that, he'll end up doing that.
I couldn't quite interrupt you at that point because you were in full flow. But was he onside?
Yeah.
I think 1 or 2 were fairly sure that wasn't the case.
I think, yeah, well, that's why one of the substitutes got booked. He was protesting it against the linesman, giving him some stick that he thought it was offside. But I think when you see this, you see there's the ball being played now. You can't stand up, and he doesn't know what's behind him. And we've got the right back who's been in a position where he's got nowhere to go if Demerit stands up because he's taking his position off the centre-back. Suddenly the centre-back steps the other way and the right back's going, well, what have you done to me? Sometimes you have to just go and deal with it properly. Demerit didn't do that, and Van Persie produced, for Arsenal, a magical moment, great finish. and that's why he wins man of the match.
The Gunners had scored first in that first half from their first corner, ironically. Watford had forced 3 and looked